everyone. My name is Pragati Mishra. I am the Chief Communication Officer at SK Consultancy. SK Consultancy is a leading NLP institute in India, headquartered in Goa. And we run programs from foundations to diploma to mastery and then TTT programs. And we bring this podcast to you to have an insight about our Train the Trainer program that we have and we've conducted. So this interaction is going to help you understand a trainer's perspective of the program that we've done. So today our guest is Misha Bajaj. She's an internationally certified NLP trainer who's done her trainer's training at SKC. Welcome, Misha. So happy to have you here.
Thank you so much, and I'm so happy to be here.
Okay. So Misha, can you please introduce yourself?
Okay. So I am Misha Bajaj. I am, like Pragati said, I'm an NLP trainer. I am a partner at Iridium Coaching and Learning, and I am also an ICF certified coach. I'm Marshall Goldsmith, stakeholder centered coach, and I also train on soft skills. Um, I also run my own other company, which is about helping people with change management and communication. So there is a lot that I do, but essentially, I'm a coach and a trainer, a facilitator, and an entrepreneur.
So interesting to know you're able to do so many things, and uh, how did you come to your NLP journey? Like, how was your first connect with NLP?
It's interesting that when I was training to become an ICF coach, a part of our curriculum had NLP training in it as well. Which was very basic, really just understanding what NLP is and just to get a flavor of, how you can, while coaching, use NLP. Or almost like there is something called NLP as well that can be used as an approach while you're coaching. So that's where I started with knowing a little bit about NLP. But it was only much later that I started the journey, and Um, it was like I finished a marathon in very regular sprints almost. I kind of did my, like the practitioner, the master practitioner, and TTT all in the same year. So it was kind of like, like I said, a marathon and little sprints, but yeah, I made it.
Yeah, I mean, you make it sound so easy. So, now that you are an NLP trainer, how has your association with SKC been? Because, you said you finished all three levels in 1 year. So, how has your
Yeah.
association been with us so far?
So I did my master trainer certification and TTT certification at SKC.
Hmm.
I did my practitioner level at Iridium,
Hmm.
and now I am a partner at Iridium. I am training at Iridium. But my journey with SKC has been quite significant, right? Because my master practitioner certification happened at SKC, wherein my first point of contact with Suren, and you know, uh, you know how Suren is. He's that kind of a person who'll be like, "Ho jayega, it'll happen," and don't stress and all of
Right.
that. So you said I make it sound easy. He makes it sound easy as well,
True.
right? So and I think because my base was so strong with Iridium and Nikhil being my first trainer, NLP trainer, for me, master practitioner was just about adding another layer to what I already knew or doing it better.
Mhm.
And when I did my TTT, I can't thank everybody for any less for all of the support that I got from starting from Surin to Nikhil, of course, has always been my mentor, and Anupji. I mean, all of them really ensured that I made it. It was almost like, when I did the final, it was, we had written tests and, we had, uh, and I did a fast track of TTT, by the way. So I was learning and writing exams as well as doing presentations all at the same time. So I had everything crunched like into a really tiny capsule, time capsule. But that said, at the end of it, it seemed like Anoopji and Nikhil and Surain had had an exam and they were feeling relieved that, oh, finally it's over, so, and it went well. So for me, that sort of a support and that sort of an ownership was amazing. I mean, I really can't thank anybody any lesser than what I do already.
So it's so happy. Like it's so interesting to know your journey. Like now I feel motivated to finish my TTT.
Well done, you should.
So, and with that, I want to know as an NLP trainer, how do you see yourself differently as compared to how you used to train before?
Um, I think there are two aspects to being an NLP trainer. The first aspect is about you knowing what you're training on,
Mm-hmm.
which is true for everything else. It's almost like in the industry we call an SME, right?
Hmm.
You
Yes.
need to be a subject matter expert yourself first. Okay, and that is pretty much what a practitioner and master practitioner level do for you.
Mm-hmm.
When you come to a TTT, it's like presuppose that you're already a master at what the content is.
Yes.
So TTT is really just about polishing how you're going to deliver that content,
Mm-hmm.
right? And even that has a structure to it.
Yeah.
And so when you know that structure and it's a given and it's practiced so much, it kind of gets in your bones. And as you start training more, even your foundation level or your practitioner level concepts become clearer. Because
True.
now you're exploring it from a different angle. Now you're like, oh, you know what? How about I use this example? Oh, or, I realized this when I was at that place at that time. How do I see it in NLP terms or with an NLP lens? And how do I now use it in my training? So yes, even with, I mean, not only with NLP training, but even with other trainings and workshops that I do, it helps. It sort of puts a structure. It gives a little bit depth in terms of even knowing things which are not NLP related, but you can
Mm-hmm.
see them from an NLP lens.
Interesting. So, what kind of programs are you doing? Like, what kind of programs or workshops are you currently delivering using NLP? Because you said it's not NLP, but you're still able
Yeah,
to integrate few parts of it and work that around. So,
yeah.
what kind of programs or workshops are you doing?
So, if I were to say about NLP, then we are doing, the foundation, the practitioner and master practitioners from Iridium. That is already happening. Apart from that, we're working with companies. We're delivering straight up NLP trainings for them. We're also doing trainings which work for their context, for something that they're looking for, and we pick up their problems and look at those problems with an NLP lens and then train
Mm-hmm.
them on that. So that's happening. I've also developed a program which we are running as part of Iridium, which is known as the Becoming Blueprint, which is really about becoming the identity who you want to be. And there's a lot of play around identity and how you show up, and all of that by using NLP techniques. So we're running that program as well. And like I'm a visiting faculty at a couple of business institutes, management institutes, and even if I am training on something like emotional intelligence, um, I'm also able to add a flavor of NLP and let them see, what is underneath this, because this is human behavior, and what is
Right.
underneath this, and it just makes things, have a very different flavor to them.
This is so, so nice that you're able to introduce it at subtle levels with, with students, with people who are now going there, because eventually it is a journey for them. So,
Yeah,
now that you're able to do it in so many different places, in different aspects, do you think it is important for people to learn NLP from certified trainers who are recognized by international NLP boards and associations? People who maintain ethics and training standards.
absolutely. I couldn't stress that enough because I think, you know, I would almost, if I were to talk about it like an ICF certification, like you get an ICF certification for the credibility,
Right.
right? You're not just doing it because you don't know how to coach people, right?
Mm.
You do definitely get some structures and all of that, but for people who are looking at you and your profile, they're looking for credibility because they haven't seen you work, they haven't seen you in action,
Right.
right? So ICF maintains certain standards, right? And that is why you do it. Similarly, if you go to a TTT training or a master practitioner or a practitioner from an institute which is not only reputed but has the backing where of an international organization where you know that standards are going to be maintained, it's almost
Mm.
like a basic threshold is going to be there. You don't need to worry about it. You might be delighted that there is so much beyond that. However, you're not struggling for, oh, but I didn't get that or I wasn't taught that, because it's already so standardized that you can be sure that this is going to be there. So it's really important to get trained and certified by somebody who's already certified internationally.
Nice. So if people want to pursue NLP seriously as a career, why do you think they should do their NLP trainers training? And why do you think they should learn it from SK Consultancy?
I think NLP TTT trainers training actually hones you as a trainer. It makes you a trainer. I mean, you might know your concepts very well. You might know the book terms. You might know the definitions. It's only when you get trained as a trainer is when you can really conduct a class differently. There is a lot more knowing to it then. There's a lot more structure to it then. It's not all over the place. It's not some random topic that is introduced and it's not delivered just like, not knowing how it's to be done. So that is really important. And I think doing it with SKC is is a really good idea because, you get that sense of ownership from SKC. You get different flavors of so many kinds of trainers coming in, helping you, working with you. Because not every trainer can have everything. Somebody will have something, somebody will be good at something else. What happens at SKC, at least in my time, what happened with SKC was that I got to see so many trainers coming together and that I could be like, oh, okay, I like this and this one, and I like this and this one, and let me model them, right?
Yeah.
And modeling is NLP. And it was like a great experiment in terms of, who do I want to model and what,
Yeah.
So for me, that was really good. And I think that just gives you a lot of confidence that you don't need to be just one type of a trainer. You can be how you are. You can just add a little bit from here, a little bit of it from here, and just keep learning and keep growing the way you want to. And I think that is a specialty at SKC. And also, it's a very I might sound partial to it because I did my master practitioner from there, but there's a lot of there's a lot of homely feeling if I were to give it that name. You don't feel like you're just part of an institute, you're doing your training and that's it. It's like a journey that you're going through together. So that's nice.
It's so good to know so many things from you. Thank you so much for sharing all these insights, Misha. Is there anything else that you want to add to or just put it out here?
I would say if you're going to do TTT, then it's important that you know exactly the outcome that you're looking for. As an NLP practitioner, as an NLPer, as we call them, it's important to know your outcome before doing anything. And I think that's really important when you're even planning to undertake TTT because unless you know your outcome, you will not be able to put in the effort that it takes to be a trainer. And it's not just any training, it certifies you internationally and it means something. So you've got to really live up to that standard. And that can only happen if you know where you're headed, if you know what you really want to do in life. So I'd probably just add that. And SKC is a great place to do it.
Thank you so much, Misha. Thank you so much for your time today. And like you
Most
said,
welcome.
it's home. We we keep expecting you to keep coming home, visiting us, enjoying and
For sure.
learning more. Yes, I'll see
Yep.
you soon. Thank
Yep.
you.
Thank you so much, Pragati, for having me.